The college access space in general has evolved in great ways. I think it's just become so much more equitable, right? And so much more of an inclusive conversation. When you think about the history of college and who it was originally formed for, it wasn't necessarily formed for what America looks like now. The conversation is so much more inclusive. And not necessarily where it needs to be, but significantly more inclusive in a way that it wasn't in the past.
I think community-based organizations and nonprofits have risen as a voice or as a presence nationally, and I think NCAN has a lot to do with that. Equity is much more front and center. So in 1995, we were talking about access for underrepresented students, but we weren't as clear, and our message wasn't as clear about equity and the need to make sure that low-income students of color, are succeeding and are helping us lead this work.
The Denver Scholarship Foundation, they help college students specifically within Colorado, and they've supported me really ever since high school. They have advisors and they help prep you for college, and once you actually do get to college, they really provide you that extra support system. It's been a family for me.
So Partnership for the Future is just an organization, a nonprofit organization that is equipping students to prepare for higher education. A lot of students come from backgrounds where like their parents didn't go to college or like their first generation. So just to have someone that knows like the college field, the college life, to go and be like, hey, I don't really know how to send this email to my professor. Can you just like help me a little bit? It's great because a lot of people don't have that.
5-10 years ago, nobody was having a conversation about FAFSA, right? I think the things that become conversations because we realize the systems that we have in place don't work for everyone. And then we create space where those folks who it's not working for can elevate their voices and say, hey, actually, this is disenfranchised me in this way.
In the last 25 years, I think the college access and success field have changed a lot. Even to say the college access and success field is a big change.
I have been in the field not that long relative to some of my colleagues here at NCAN who have been doing this work for decades. And so really some of the wins that we're seeing now, like the simplification of FAFSA, is one thing that really we're standing on the shoulders of giants that have worked on in this field for decades.
I've been in my role for 7 years. I have like friends who I see at the conference every year, but also in many cases, these are the first people I call when I have a problem. It's good to have someone to talk to be able to, bounce ideas off of and kind of get perspective from.
Really, NCAN serves as this convener of great ideas, great people, great organizations, and help move the needle not just on the federal policy level, but really help us as state cohorts help move policy forward so that we can start building momentum to some of these kind of larger wins.
And we have platforms like NCAN, which we're very thankful for, who can really elevate our voices from kind of the grassroots all the way to Capitol Hill, which is not necessarily typical, and I think in every other space. But in the college access space, and being a member at NCAN, it's really helped elevate, a student on the east side of Detroit, their voice can get elevated all the way to Capitol Hill.
I'm passionate about what we do, and we do the things we do at College Bound because we know that just with a little bit of support, that students can do amazing things.
Our network has been working to close the equity gap in higher education for a quarter of a century now, and I know we won't allow current events to slow us down. In fact, the work of college access and success is more important now than ever. From all of us on the National College Attainment Network board and staff, thank you for being tireless advocates for our students. Every time you walk a family through the FAFSA, help a student compile a list of colleges, or award a scholarship, you're opening the door of opportunity a little wider. Individually, we can do good, but collectively, we can make broader change in school districts, to the State House, to Washington, D.C., and nationally.